Hello everyone and welcome back to World Builder. In this episode we are going to be completing the house on the hill. This is the biggest house and the house where the mayor or leader of the town lives, and it is much larger than all of the others as it is designed to be. So, this style, I guess, of house isn't one that I've made in a while. I guess the clock tower was kind of similar to this, but not entirely. So it's kind of a learning experience for me, so we'll see how it goes. I start out by putting pillars of wood on all sides of the wall, and then mirroring any pillars on one side to the other side, just to make it more uniform, and then adding in those connecting beams and sticking out blocks on the side. So, roofing this was probably the biggest challenge involved with it because of its strange shape. So, what I did, and what I'd recommend doing, is bringing in the sides of the building to a central point so that you can try to make like a rectangle or something in the middle that can be turned into a roof. And that's what I did here. I use a slab roof on both sides to bring it both sides up to the middle point where the main roof can actually start. So yeah, you can kind of see that there. And then in the middle, we need another segment to connect that up also. And the design of this segment is the same as the first segment, it's just, higher. Uh, the wood also gets mirrored over, but it's kind of odd because the distance between them changes. Like, all three of those gaps are different lengths, so it's kind of weird to make a roof, and you'll see why in a minute. So we do the same stuff. I think of designs, and I start building a framework out of wood, but I don't keep that. I used to do that when making houses, but I stopped. So, yeah. So, with these style of roofs, building an arch on the side helps to make it look better, like you get more shape out of it. Um, but because of the uneven spacing of the pillars, it was really odd to make, because the shape of the arc doesn't line up with the way the pillars are. So, it was kind of weird, but I think it worked out in the end. So, I ended up building the framework again, just out of stone brick, um, and that's the block that I've used continually for everything else. And now I start building this arch type thing. And this is probably one of the first times that I've built a roof like this. So I have to check my resources and look up my good buddy Grian on YouTube and watch his video. How to build roofs good. And there you go. And in his video he's like, you should build an arc going up. By this point I had already built an arc going down. So I decided, oh well, I'll just keep the arc going down, I guess. And his video was very little use. That's not true. It was quite helpful. Because of the shape that I wanted to get. So if you notice on the slab bottom roofs, I placed a bunch of slabs in a messy, uneven sort of fashion. And on the top part, I didn't do that. I wanted it to look smoother, so that's what I did. I just built an arc down there. It's like one slab and then three and then one, three, over and over again. And I just copy that shape over again. And for the top, I build a stone brick thing to just attach it to it. And yeah, it looks kind of weird because you can't mix slabs, but oh well. What are you gonna do, you know? So then you go about and mirror that on the other side, so where you get a completed roof. And then you have to fill in that little midsection there. Well, not midsection. The thing below the roof that wasn't, that's part of the wall. Fill that in. And now we have our nice house with no detail, just a frame. And from there, you start adding the detail. I just yawned. That was very unprofessional. Anyway, um, I detail this in a similar way to the way I detailed the clock tower, because they are similar styled builds. Um, Using cobblestone wall, spruce fence, cobblestone slabs, all that stuff, stairs, spruce trapdoors, all those things together to make a detailed pattern on the walls of the house. So this is where like some people have problems with the design. They think like, oh, there's too much detail. Um, but I don't mind it. I think it looks good. Like, so, you know, some people may disagree, but I don't. The key thing for me though, personally, is if you're gonna do like arches or anything and stuff like that over the windows, you can't do the same design each time, because then it looks bad. So it has to be varied on each like segment of wall. Because if you don't, then it just doesn't look right. Use white stained glass instead of just regular glass because I think it looks better in this style. Like it contrasts more than regular glass does, and I think that's better for the windows. Um, I also meant to put like coal blocks or black concrete behind the windows, but I didn't do that. And that's because there will be no interior on this house. Because, as you may have been able to figure out, um, the inside of the top part is 1 block wide. So you can't really do anything with that because it's 1 block. Like I can't make bookshelves or a bed or anything because I only have 1 block of space. So there you go. You can get a finished panoramic-ish. Panoramic? That's not panoramic. A circular view of the house. So now, since I still had a lot of time left, because that didn't take me nearly as long as I thought it would, I decided to continue working on some of these smaller houses and start putting them on stilts and all of that. Not all of them are going to be on stilts, just because if they were all on stilts, that wouldn't um, look as good, because you want to get more variation in it. So the people that are on stilts can survive the floods, and those that aren't will probably not, but oh well, that's okay. Um, I also decided to replace the log that I use with stripped dark oak instead of stripped spruce, for a bit more contrast. But other than that, oh, and the roof, changing out the black and brown for gray, um, in to mix in different combinations just to get it looking a bit different from house to house, so it doesn't look as bland when you look down on it from like above and you see the roofs. Um, Also on the bottom with the stilts, it's kind of weird because the floor, like I wanted to make the house 3 blocks tall, but then the floor would be a fourth block. So it just kind of it makes it look bigger than it really is, I think, because it's like 4 blocks tall, but the fourth block is just stilts, or just the floor. So yeah. So there you can see on this house doing black and gray instead of brown and black or brown and gray to create more contrast in that. Um, Another thing that's really important with this is to vary the height of the buildings, because if every building was the same height, it wouldn't look good. So variation is key in a lot of this stuff. Just making sure all the buildings are different heights, different shapes, different sizes, um, different colors, all that stuff is really helpful. Different position of windows, different position of the stair cutout things that I used. All of that stuff, changing it in each house makes it look more natural, more realistic, and it's just a good idea to do. So do it. Don't make all your houses look the same, because then they won't look as good. Unless you're building that, like, style, where every house is supposed to look the same, then do it. But if you're just making, like, a normal village, then just don't. It'll look bad. Um, at least in my opinion. Other people may disagree, but that's what I think about it. So, once this house is finished, everything will be done. And with that, I'm going to leave this here. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoy, leave a comment, feedback you have for me, and I'll see all of you later. Bye.